The principles in themselves are very simple. You can check them in our webpage that is www.unprme.org, but the principles really refer to the purpose of developing capabilities of students that are prepared to work for an inclusive and sustainable global economy, values, and this principle talks about the need of curriculum change, method, and this principle number 3, talks about the need of new learning methods that complement what we are already using. Principle 4, research the need to back new curriculum approaches with new research. Principle 5, partnerships. We have to remain very close to responsible companies to be very, very clear and aware of their demands in this field. And principle 6, open business schools, open to partnerships of all kinds. And finally, the principles talk about, we understand that our organizational practices should serve as an example of the values and attitudes we convey to our students. For instance, in Copenhagen, in this international conference on climate change that we had last year, we also decided that we want to go green in terms of our own campuses. Just very briefly, PRIME is reaching at this moment 300 signatories. It has 286. 85 was yesterday, today is 86. And the only commitment that a business school has with PRIME is very simple. We want to ensure the disclosure of progress. We want that, and I think that this is, the cornerstone of the initiative, that every 18 months, every business school that is a signatory of PRIME should make a sharing information on progress document. And that really would build both the credibility of the initiative, but also we will create a learning community. That is exactly what we want to do. We have a growing number of activities within PRIME because business schools that are signatories not only are striving to change their curriculum and the orientation of their research and their learning methodologies, but some of them are saying, hey, I would like to be a leader within PRIME in this specific issue, and that is always welcomed by the PRIME Secretariat. So we have now groups, ongoing groups on anti-corruption, on poverty as a challenge in business education, on climate change, travel studies, learning methods, and so on and so forth. There you have the logos of everybody that is member of the steering committee, with the welcome addition in the last meeting that we had, as I said, of AMBA, but also of CIMAN, the Eastern and Central European Development Association, and of CLADIA, the Latin American Council of Business Schools. And the founders of the initiative are already there, or they are all members of the steering committee, ACSB International, EFMD, EABIS, the European Academy of Business Society, but also Net Impact, the students' organization, and some advanced laboratories like the Aspen Institute and the Globally Responsible Leadership Initiative. And the Secretariat is hosted by the UN. And I would like to conclude by saying to those that are not participating in PRIME, why should you participate? Well, my reasons are really 3. I mean, if we are in a changing landscape, I mean, obviously the whole rankings and quality of business education is being redefined. And I would say that PRIME provides to business school an inspirational and aspirational framework to really get, in a systemic way, ahead of the curve, and therefore, have possibilities in the race to the top in an environment in which, in the next decade, business education clearly is going to be redefined. So the second reason would be that PRIME acts as a framework for systemic change in a transversal way of all disciplines, for marketing to operation, from finances to human resources management. Is not anymore the change in a business school, is not anymore to put an add-on on sustainability or on ethics. What really the call is to change systematically, transversally, color all the disciplines with the core values of sustainability and corporate citizenship. The third reason would be that if you are in PRIME, you have access to a growing network of like-minded participants. And we really, I think that this is very important. We don't want only to go together, gradually changing through this framework our educational efforts. We want to create a learning community when everybody can get inspiration from their peers. So finally, I would say that participating in PRIME is for many schools, and probably for some of you that are today participating in this webinar, nothing new. It's a recognition of what you are already doing, but providing, this is true, a framework for continuous improvement and systemic change. And in that sense, I would say that the schools that have joined PRIME find, and this is a reality that we see every day, that the framework has meant a new dynamics in curriculum change towards sustainability. And I think that is very clear, the propositions. If the future of business is sustainability, which it is, the future of leading business schools is become leaders in sustainability. And in that sense, I would say that there is no better framework for this that so far than PRIME. So by concluding, I would like to just raise the flag. We are having the second Global Forum for Responsible Management Education here in New York on the 23rd of June this year, where we are going to meet together. This is going to give us an opportunity to learn from each other. It's going to generate traction for the initiative. So we hope to see you here in New York.